Who said? You say you do, but you never do.
Yes,
And
I
we're
do.
live. We do.
Hey,
Yes.
those data bits. They are coming out because it's Wednesday. You know what time it is? That's right.
Data bits.
2 more days of work. It's horrible. Terrifying.
We're over the hump.
Yes.
What's up, beautiful people? How are we doing? I think I have everything dialed in. Been discussing Rick and Morty UK premiere.
About 2 weeks later. Hello, 1980s. I had forgotten about you.
Man, you know, isn't that just like a fun way of saying how many people do you want to learn how to get it on the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, exactly how many instances of piracy do you want?
That's all I'm hearing, especially when you think about the target demo for Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, if it's people like us, I'm one of the few idiots that still hasn't, gone to the local video store and just watched it.
Mm-hmm. Is a thing. We have a pretty decent size. We can run through this. This is not going to be too bad.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay, I think our on-live notifications just went out, according to the boops and the bleeps I've heard.
The boops. Yeah, one
The
of the
bot is
things
still taking sweet time.
Cool. One of the things, Ben, I've been doing with some of my old computers is, I fire them all up occasionally to keep them running and happy. But I've been the ones I can, I do show notes on. That's a good way to keep them going.
It's a good way to waste electricity, man. You could do that on a laptop. I mean, listen, I'm not going to get in the way of you destroying the environment. I mean, good on you.
Ben!
That's what you're doing, man.
I'm preserving.
Yes. That's how you make electronics last longer. Use them more.
Well, if you don't use them, they don't last very long.
They're solid state.
Some of those aren't.
UV lithography, baby. It doesn't work like I think you believe it does.
That and the CRTs.
No, you got CRTs, you got capacitors. I mean, capacitors are going to go bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to leak. That's...
It's always great when you pick up an old CRT and it's stuck to the desk. It's like, is it safety locked to the desk? No.
Oh.
Something leaked.
Well, you got that and you're like, man, it really smells like Swiss mocha. Somebody clearly spilled something under this at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, that's always fun. Either that or you pick them up and the little feet remain. Yeah.
Yep.
Those things are
I had that happen on a laptop that was sitting on the same table in the exact same position for years. Then I picked it up. It's like, oh, hello. Okay.
Well, times have changed, definitely. Because one of my spare rooms is dedicated to stuff I need to go throw away, but you just can't throw it in the trash. And I have a wall of misfit monitors, which now have 5 LCD flat panels on it. It's like, you're not worthy of my love anymore. To the room with you. And
I have a good way to get rid of that kind of stuff here. See, by the bins, there's a little space in between the next, the bins and the parking space that's next to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I just drop stuff there.
Littering. Yeah,
Then I come back in the house, and I pick up the rest of the trash, and I go to the bins, and by the time I come back around, it's already gone.
If you want it gone really quick, put a price tag on it.
But then I'll find it on eBay later, so no.
Don't want to accidentally buy it again. There was a great post about somebody who put a bookshelf outside. They're like, take it. No one would take it, so we put a price tag on it, and somebody, air quotes, stole it in 3 minutes.
Perceived value.
Well, I mean, it's good that you're trying to get rid of it. I mean, give it to somebody that might be able to get some use out of it.
Yeah.
You know, those show notes aren't going to do themselves.
Somehow I don't see Jill flying all the way over here to pick up something that I leave by the bins. The opposite. See, that might happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I like you out of arm's reach. It's safer for the both of us.
There would have definitely been objects flying if we'd be doing this in the same room.
It would have just been one object followed by, yeah, hey guys, I'm back. Yeah, come on. I got pretty good aim. And it's going to be something like a couch, too, so...
Yeah, usually at work, since me and Nathan are usually taking pot shots at each other the whole time. Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't have like a comeback, and something just gets thrown at my head. It's like, ow.
Go for body shots, man. Like, you clip somebody in the head, you could like, seriously hurt them.
We don't throw that hard.
It's not even that, man. What?
Oh, never mind.
Well, Joe, you've been squirreling off for the entire intro, so...
Yeah. Well, my quality went bad again on my return video, and I'm trying to figure it out. It's
Which
fine.
reminds me, I haven't killed the notifications.
Yeah, it's fine going to you, but as soon as we went live, it got really bad again. And I'm on Chrome.
Yeah, no,
It's just
it will, like, drop, but that's fine, because it's just, you know, return video for us. So as long as it doesn't affect what's going to the live stream, it's fine.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. It's just annoying, because I can't even hardly see you guys.
What's different?
It's just reference. Basically,
Yeah.
if Vent switches to someone, that person's gonna talk.
Yeah,
That's
but
how it goes in my head.
Yeah, but it was beautiful before we went live.
See, the trick, Jill, is to
I
like
don't know.
focus laser in on something that doesn't really affect anything. That'll make your day go really good.
Yeah, I mean, like last week, but I don't know why this is happening. Could it, Ven, could the box that you're sending me, is it sending me less, or on Jordan's box?
We went over this last week, Jill.
Yeah.
Then we did the thing.
It
We did a
must
show
just
on
be-
Saturday. And it wasn't an issue on Jordan's end.
Yeah. No, I know, but again, it only happened when it went live. So,
I mean, it's going to. Ven is using that same upstream to send us return video and stream at the same time, so it will happen.
yeah. It's just it hadn't for months. It had been clean, beautiful. So.
Hello, Pennywise. Hello, Arthur and Mir.
Yeah, both of you.
Yes.
have-
If you open your blinds, you'll see Mir like stuck to your window on the outside. It's like, I'm here.
Okay, now it's improving. It's okay. You know, it yeah, whatever.
Let's see. We could. What's our total output right now? Let me take a look. Well, I have you guys both limited now to 3 megabit upload, so.
No, Theron, I haven't tried that yet. I haven't had time to play with it. I want to, though. Hopefully this weekend.
Yeah, let's
Looks
try
like
some.
fun. And thank you again. That's been in my wish list for a while.
Pennywise, that is a compliment you should reserve for Jordan. Oh, speaking of Masters of the Universe, Toys That Made Us is back with season 3 on Netflix.
What's that?
It's like a comedy series about like really popular toy lines, and they go like from the beginning. How did it start? All that. Like you had the first series, which was like Barbie and G.I. Joe and a few others. And then this current series, they had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers. I haven't seen the rest of the episodes yet, but there's like 2 more episodes, I think. It's like 4 episodes per season, so yeah. And one of the episodes is He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Toys That Made Us, Arthur. It's they do a good job of making it interesting and funny at the same time, so I very much like to sit down and have a listen.
Okay.
We're just taking a look. You have a green...
It's in a book. I'm reading Rainbow.
Right.
Hey, there's the bot.
Hey,
Yeah,
bot
it took
get
it a
rental.
while. 8 minutes? Oh no, that was more like 15 minutes.
Which reminds me, I actually forgot to tweet. So, give me a
Oh.
sec. Yes.
Yep, there's just something between a connection.
Okay, yeah. It did
Between-
improve when we rebooked.
Yeah, I reset that, and you're not pulling... I mean, Pedro is pulling 2.5 megabits, and you're only pulling like 300 from me on the peer-to-peer.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting here.
Yeah.
It's very strange because I was, again, before we went live, I was at the same as I was sending you. I was about 2600. Weird.
There. There's a toot.
We're double checking the bandwidth limits on this box.
Okay.
Yep. It's easily, that's what I got it set at, 5 megabits up. Which it can deliver.
Well, that'll do it.
Well, let's be curious. Pedro, go hop over to Jill's room.
Okay.
I will
Give me a
exit.
sec.
Nope.
Oh,
Don't exit,
Say
Jill.
exit.
Okay.
I'll be right
We're
there.
gonna try and share the same place.
No, I just wanted. We're troubleshooting.
Okay.
Maybe Pedro got lost.
Oh,
There it be.
There's a Pedro.
Yes.
okay. Well, now it looks beautiful again as soon as he came in.
Magic.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just a pairing issue between here and
Me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
I'll
Pedro.
go back to my room now. There we go.
Okay. Thank you, Vin. I am sorry. It just was, for months it's been beautiful. Ever since I've had fiber, my return video has been awesome. So, this is a recent thing.
Wow. We are at the mercy of Jitsi.
Yeah, and it's looking pretty good right now. So, but yeah, as long as my what I'm sending you is good, that's all I care about.
Apparently not.
Well, I don't like looking at you fuzzy and pixely.
Do what Jordan does. Pay no attention to the return video.
Yeah.
That's how Pedro and I are going to start talking smack about Jordan. We're just going to write stuff and show it to each other. Right. But hang on. I got to get these set up.
I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
I promise.
I would say hopefully when 18, we'll have a lot more control once I have
Viper. Yay.
because, Charter, at a principle, I'm not giving you more money for only 50 megabits up.
Yeah.
Alright. Grab a refill and we can get on to it.
Okay.
If anybody needs to go do something, do it now. Not when I come back.
I'm good.
I'm good. I took care of it earlier. Aw.
Yeah, it's ash that caught a little bit of moisture on the way down.
Yeah, it's been... Today's one of our coldest days we've had in, like, the whole year. Since probably January or February. I'm even wearing a long sleeve shirt.
Let's see. Today it wasn't negative degrees when I went to work, so that's an improvement. I don't know. I mean, it was literally 1 Celsius when I walked out. So.
Oh, okay. So it's 58 Fahrenheit. That's really cold for us. That's unusual. Oh my
What
goodness.
is that, 15
Yeah.
Celsius?
Yeah.
F
Checking that
F
one.
and C. 14, yeah. Wasn't far
Wow.
off.
See, that's cold for us. Wow.
Yeah, the coldest it got here was -3 Celsius.
Wow. That is cold.
Yeah. So apparently this winter is going to be chilly. Which is nice.
Yeah, it's been raining and storming today, so this is a cold storm for us.
I mean, it's t-shirt when I get in the house. It's like I'm outside with, coat, scarf. Yeah, we're good. I get inside, it's like take everything off.
Yeah. Yay. Yeah, Ben, it's 14 degrees Celsius here. It's really cold for us.
It's 15 here. I don't live on the North Pole like LA. It's hard to believe it's 14 with all that fire.
The fire's gone, but yeah,
it's 4 here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like the mood swing, because I think later this week it's going to get up to like 19 or 20. Then that evening, not that night, that evening, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I mean, that was most winter days when I lived with my parents. It's like, yeah, during the day it's like 15, 16, at night 0. Okay.
Oof. That'd be a tough one, Chips.
Yeah, Ellen, we had a downpour. That was a thing all night long. I was hearing it, the wind and the rain.
They're terrified of rain.
Well, we haven't had it in so long. I actually didn't know what it was at first. I'm like, what's that noise? Doesn't happen that often. I hadn't checked the weather in a while to see if we were supposed to get rain.
Yeah, that'd have to be a significant paycheck.
I've had to look into that myself. There's an expat community, and there's like bars and stuff that are like kind of siloed off that cater to that. It's just no. In any country or society that has like the religious policeman, no. Not. Not my dice. I'm not that brave or foolish. All right. One, two, three. Let's do a show. Yeah. Also, not going anywhere where 4 is ever in the temperature at any point.
Oh, it got down to 41 today. It was a nice chilly breeze.
Dude. I think about that every time I see like the world map on the Beebs or Sky, and they're rotating over, and it's like 43, 45. I'm like, no. No.
I mean, it is very dry heat, so
Yeah, but
it's tolerable.
It's okay. Well, back to that point is I wouldn't do that to myself on purpose. I wouldn't willingly. Okay, I think we are together. Let's check the 3-shot. All right. What are you up there in the corner doing? Oh, I know what you are. Okay. I think I know what that is. Yes, that's what that was. All right. Ready to do a show, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. And welcome back to Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays, where we can sit back, relax, take that midweek break, and talk about some of the fun things we found going on in the world of Linux and open source. I'm Vin Stone, here in beautiful downtown Athens, Georgia, joined every week by the cold, chilly Eskimo in LA, because it's 1 degree colder in the city of angels that it is.
That's amazing.
Coast to coast, man. But telling us all to get stuffed, the man on the Isle of Britannia at a... I don't know what chili.
It's 4 Celsius.
The coldest.
You just get
4 whole Celsius.
I'm just gonna say, man, when you get to 4, you're just dealing with it, and you're like, all right, it's fine.
It's fine. I'll take it.
Oh man, we are live. Hey everyone at home watching us. We got a gang of stuff to get into this week. So let's jump right into it. Quick recap since last week. One thing we did learn. Rick Sanchez runs Debian.
Yeah.
Yep. And he has an AMD 37QX, 3700QX.
Quantum computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was brought up to a better point. His toilet, his loo, runs Debian. This is just for his potty.
Yes.
Yeah. He must have a bidet.
Dude, I was thinking, he's got his own planet. So I was playing around like last night and burnt an inordinate amount of time due to this stupid little red controller that I just bought to complete the collection. Right? It's like, well, I guess I need to get one of these. Last week, I told everyone I'd set up kernel 5.3, 11, whatnot on Debian 10, and just some audio stuff I was playing with. Everything's running swimmingly, no issues. For some time now. Last night, it's like, I need to try this with a particular game we're going to be doing this week because I want to see if it works. Couldn't get it to connect. It would link and down and uplink would just sit there and hammering everything. I'm like, okay, it's like permissions messed up in blues. That's learned a lot about USB as one does, and Bluetooth. Finally Googled it. It's like, oh yes, this is a bug since October.
Yeah, I talked about that bug on this show.
I paid no attention to you whatsoever. In one ear, out the other. It's a buzzing noise. And so, yeah, I just, I didn't even roll back to the latest 419 stable. Boop, it connected. I'm like, whatever. Joe, what's new with you? Anything more exciting than that?
Yes. So last Saturday was another Linux Gamecast first. Me, Steve, Matthew, and Ellen met Atomic from chat for the first time. And we had a great time, a really nice chat over a Mexican dinner and a nice stroll along the Redondo Beach Pier. And it was nice because Atomic I've been talking to in chat for years. And, it's to meet him in person was awesome. And he's just like I knew he would be because we've been friends online. So it was great.
And you lost him at one point because I got a message from Alan on Discord. It's like, did anyone see where Strider and Atomic went?
Yeah. They were just way ahead of us. So on the way back.
Yeah, I saw the horrifying. It's like, oh man, every time I see that, like group pictures, it's like, please nothing go wrong, because that the only thing that goes through my mind is the like headline in the local newspaper.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm glad everything worked out and everyone enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, it worked out perfect.
Good news, everyone. Linux has some new malware to contend with.
Yes.
Linux and Windows users have been targeted with a new AC backdoor malware. Researchers have discovered a new multi-platform backdoor that infects Windows and Linux systems, allowing the attackers to run malicious code. It's never good, happy, fun code, is it? And binaries on compromised machines. It's called AC Backdoors, developed by a threat group with experience. So they track this down. Infection vectors. How do I get it? Well, no one really knows. This is kind of a...
I mean, on on Windows, it's just Internet Explorer and Flash.
Flash.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have just said it's Windows, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently the Windows variant is actually ported from the Linux variant. But yeah, the Linux variant, everyone's going, yeah, we don't know what the attack vector on that one is.
Yeah.
Okay, Ven, you go.
Ven knows.
I have theories. Seriously, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I can think of exactly not one, but two attack vectors that only the dumbest of dumbs, the morons themselves, would fall for. Yes, that's right. I'm looking at you, game thieves. I'm also looking at you, Kodi users. Not regular, you know the Kodi users I'm talking about, those other ones.
Yes, the ones that install that Kodi repo and just give it the root password, yes.
Well, we were talking in the pre-show before we went live. It's like, this is taking advantage of Windows-like behavior. It's like, I'm going to go take and steal the stuff, and I'll just double-click. Oh, I just got to put a password in, and my game's split. I'm like, geez. Because no one else. I would love the ideas. Alan, you brought up a good point. At least Linux is starting to, it's nowhere near there, but we're starting to maybe achieve parity with malware that Windows and Mac, you know.
I mean, yeah, it is still harder to, like, get the malware in, which is why we're always going, okay, that's all very well and good, but the moment the malware is on a system, the problem is already there. So what's the attack vector?
The end user. Always the end user.
Yeah, on Linux, it's always the user.
Man, I don't know. That's definitely a thing. So it turns out Debian 10 is not powering only lose. It's also got a Chromebook or two up its pipe.
Yep. And every single Chromebook that has Linux apps enabled will be will have Debian 10 available very, very soon. One of the things that the article on XDA doesn't mention is like, okay, so we know that people are already running Debian 10 or Debian 9.
Wait a minute. So you can get Arch on your Chromebook? I love this.
There is a script that you just replace everything Debian with everything Arch. It's, yeah. But yeah, you can run a very similar script that already does the update for you, but there is no official way to update from the base Debian 9 to Debian 10. So that remains to be seen. It's like, how are you going to do it? But it does bring some new things. The one that kind of jumped out at me is like, oh, you can sideload Android apps without enabling developer mode. So it's like, oh, you could just load up that APK. Nice.
Yeah, so last week we talked about Chrome OS 78 rolling out, and now Chrome OS 80 is expected to be released for all users in February 2020, and which is really, that's actually very quick. And having the latest stable release of Debian 10 Buster will allow the use of newer software, of course. And it might be a little stale, but not too stale. And with the Crostini GPU support now being enabled by default with Chrome OS 78, using graphics applications like the GIMP and Blender should be a much smoother experience. So that'll be great.
Yeah. It also helps that with Debian 10 you get a newer version of Mesa, which means better performance. Yes.
Yes.
It is kind of beautiful. The Debian train keeps on rolling, though. 10.2, it's only slightly stale, he says, as he did it. The update was like, uh-oh, what's this? When you see those repo names change, it's like, you need to agree. It's nothing like terribly fun to report. For the most part, it's just a gang of security updates. I did it on this box we're on right now, the Threadbooper. Nothing. No big hangups. Nothing changed, which is good. This is what you look for in a Debian system. You're like, nothing broke. And, just it's security stuff. We got some glib improvements. LibreOffice, which, thanks for reminding me that was installed. I uninstalled that. Incurses, xlibs. Picard. Not Picard. That's a different thing. And, oh, right. There was some stuff with System D, but I didn't look at that because I don't like System D. I just came to the realization that it's a thing now and just got to deal with it. But hey,
Pretty much, yeah.
I'll tell you one thing
Yeah.
it didn't fix was my Bluetooth issue with that PS4 controller and kernel 5.3.
No. It is System D. It is very low level, but not kernel level. So,
Yeah, so one of the fixes was in the Debian installer, fixed unreadable fonts on high DPI displays and netbook images booted with EFI. And actually, this is really good because I've occasionally had weird Debian installer unreadable, corrupt, or just too small fonts to read on some displays when using EFI and netboot. It's been an issue for forever. You find that one monitor it's not happy with. So,
Jill, you say that these two boxes are identical. I mean, down to,
yeah.
to the monitors plugged into them.
Mhm.
I see this issue when I start them up. Some of them will be like, I know Pedro and I have
yeah.
talked about this. It's like you ever accidentally drop the console on a UHD monitor and it maintained that 3840 by 2160 and you're like, oh boy,
Yeah.
right. Let's get up and close and personal. And, some it'll be like your regular, what you would expect, Visa font, and the other one will be like, nope, mice type. So yeah, that's good to see that they fixed that for people.
Yes.
consistency.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
you got to think about it, man. You want consistency in that 2 to 2.3 seconds it takes to get into X from hitting the power button.
Yeah.
In the old days, I used to use like I always had a magnifying glass next to my computers for these Debian screens.
Actually,
Yeah, it's a
I can
thing.
tell that I'm using Ubuntu now because after I installed the NVIDIA drivers, not the ones that came pre-installed, but I did the install, the Plymouth animation went from being all nice and 1080p to being like 640 by 480. It's like, oh god damn it, NVIDIA, still that issue? Really?
Language.
Oh, I suppose the G word does qualify.
You know what? I'm going to bleep that out.
Oh,
Closing the G damn door.
Oh, shut the front door. Come on.
All right, so this one is
Yay.
private internet access, or no, it's Brave.
no, it's Brave.
I scrolled down too far. My bad.
PIA is coming very soon.
Yes.
So this is one of my favorite Chromium-based web browsers, Brave, is now out of beta, and the first stable release is here. Yay! And I use this privacy-focused web browser on many of my computers and Android as well. And what's nice is Brave not only has the added benefit of blocking ads and trackers, but loads web pages faster as a result. And I definitely noticed the speed difference on my Android phone too. It makes a big difference. And I've been using it since it came out. I think Ven and Pedro have too as well. So this is
I've toyed with
really
it.
good.
I don't really use it.
I forget exactly what it did that sent me off, that made me stop using it. There was some dumb thing. Wait. And it really wasn't Brave's fault, to the point of I was using it for show notes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like complaining about being an outdated browser or something like that with Google Docs.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? You're Chromium now. And 1.0, that's good. Options
Yeah.
are good. I mean, naturally it's going to pale in comparison to the majesty that will be Edge.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen when that comes to
Yeah.
Linux, how the two will compare.
Come on, man. You're going to be using Edge like you watch a train wreck. You're like, we just got to see. Let's
Oh, I will try it. Oh, I will absolutely try it.
live stream it,
Yes.
man. Let's just watch it. eat
Oh,
poo.
yeah.
Yeah, if it comes out on a Tuesday, that's what I'm live streaming. It's going to be a whole different kind of game.
I wonder if they're going to find a way to ship Flash with it.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
Chrome was shipping
Good.
their version of Pepper Flash for a
Pepper.
while, so
Yeah.
Yeah, but on by default. Come on, it's Microsoft. Maybe not. Anyway, you
Yeah.
have something about it's not a PITA, but just a regular PIA, the old school.
yes. And hopefully it won't become a PITA, because, well, private internet access, they put out a blog post. It's like Bellum Omnium contra Omnis, the war of all against all. And it's basically them saying, okay, we ran into a bunch of stuff and we needed to do something and we needed more money. So we started talking to people and people were like, yeah, we can give you money, but you'll have to share the logs. And they're like, we don't keep logs. Oh, then you're not getting money. Until eventually they found Cape Technologies, which was willing to give them money without the logs. So they bought them. The Cape Technologies bought PIA and
So
the
they couldn't
parent
get the
company,
logs. What do they want? Like a twig? Maybe a branch?
or some powdered toast for all I care.
No,
the
hang on. To interrupt you, the real question is, what's this got to do with Linux, Pedro? This is just a VPN.
Oh, yes. So if you don't know about PIA specifically, they one of the things that they support is OpenVPN, so you can literally use it on any distribution. They saved Krita from bankruptcy after they did that little snafu with the taxes. These were the people who bailed them out. They support a bunch of FOSS projects. I personally use it, and actually one of the FOSS the projects that they support, and I didn't know, was Freenode. Because as it turns out, the parent company of PIA, LTMI, or London Technologies Media Inc., they own Freenode. The guy who runs Freenode is an employee of private internet access. And yeah, with this purchase, it was like the total value of the purchase was like something 130 something million, which isn't all that much in, company money. But that basically got them a bunch of credit right there. It covered their 32 million debt that they had accumulated, which is nice. That's very nice. And yeah, they were the one company out there that was willing to fund them and basically buy them out without asking for the logs. So yeah, I'm willing to wait and see what they do. Mostly because I already gave them money, so...
Yeah, and also they sponsor the Southern California Linux Expo and have a very large presence there. So it's awesome. And another cool thing is they are rolling out a new search engine called Private Search, which cryptographically protects your privacy. And it is available now for testing, and I was playing with it yesterday, and it works very well. And also they're creating a new web browser based on Chromium called Libra Browser for Linux, Mac, and Windows that protects your privacy. So, and that's not out yet, but I am looking forward to playing around with it. Really cool.
Very, very cool. Our next bit of kit is something that's near and dear to sleepless nights in university. Yes. Writing a user space USB driver for an abandoned device. Doesn't that sound like fun? 100% as someone who was trying to reverse engineer the QuickCam VC back in billions of you. Remember that thing parallel port? We didn't have this fancy universal serial bus. Nay, this speaks to me, or that part of me. It's like, oh, let's build a logic analyzer, and I never got it to work right. No harm, no foul. But real quick, this dude picked up some cheap VGA to USB capture devices off the eBay. He's like, hey, man, let's see if they work. I've been there. I know those feels. And it turns out that binary drivers did exist, but they only worked up to like kernel 419. So, or before that. So kernel, 5X series, stuff like that. Not going to fly. So he was like looking at it. He's like, hey, man, I think this is basically an FPGA on a stick. So our intrepid hero got to work. And after much USB snooping, a few typos were had, which resulted in it kind of working. He was like, uh-oh, neat. Then he discovered that there was an SDK for the Windows version that kind of sped everything up. And we can scroll real quick all the way down. Look, That's the typo.
Blinky LED.
Yep. The typo caused that. And that gives you hope. It might be false hope, but it keeps you going.
Yeah.
This is just a very, very fun read. And you can see, take one, something. Take two. Oh, there
Okay,
we go.
so them some letters.
Yeah, right. The happiness that one gets from pulling off something like this is amazing. I think it's great. And of course, the driver for this little critter is now available on GitHub, which is great. And it's neat. But what I want to say, what's the moral of the story? Let me tell you. Because it's a universal one. Because the quickest way to get Linux drivers for your device is A, quite simply, don't release them. Hi, Sony. Or, in this case, stop providing updates for them. Then you're going to end up with open source drivers for you.
And then people are going to take your open source drivers and make them work on devices that you never planned.
Yeah.
Well, this is a story that happens over and over and over again. But you know something like this is an older device. If you're looking for like a VGA capture device, I wouldn't even know where to start. But hey, man, you could definitely burn a weekend with this and get it up and running. Now, just pick one up. I don't know what you would capture with the VGA. If you really need to capture your Dreamcast.
Your T42 ThinkPad for some reason.
Aw, or your older computers.
Sweet 4x3 goodness, man. So good on you, man. Jill, you said something about the old Hollywood MPEG 2 decoders that never worked right.
Yes, exactly. So this reminds me when I was working on getting one of my Real Magic Hollywood Plus MPEG 2 decoder cards working on Linux. This was in the days when FFmpeg and video for Linux was definitely in its infancy. But I did get that working. It took a couple months, but I finally got it to work. So
and you could play around with
really
them
great.
If you kids out there are like, what are you talking about? Well, the computers were too slow if you were trying to play a DVD. And also those Hollywood cards, they came with everything. You bought the wrong magazine. You're like, what is this? And it was one of those Hollywood cards, man. They were everywhere. And fortunately, like 20 seconds after I just like, this isn't worth it, I've got a laptop that was fast enough to play DVDs without exploration. Get off my lawn. Okay. Open source radio. What's this about? Opensource.com. Yukon, which is Canuckistan, believe it or not. This kind of walks through how this dude set up his own bit of kit. The Open Broadcaster Studio, the source code's out. It's under AGPL v3. He needed to set something up, and he had to do it himself, as one does. Radio Rob Hopkins. Is that, what do you want to go with that? Tagish? Tagish?
Yeah,
yes.
But no, he stuck this together for a community-powered, low-powered FM station, and I think this is really neat. So this is going to automate setting things up. He started playing this with cassettes and stuff like that. But this is something, since it's under AGPL v3, it's open source. You can play it with yourself. You can even put it on a Pi, and there's no mandatory paid subscriptions, unlock codes, no dongles or anything like that. And a station in Kentucky even sponsored the development of this for doing a royalty reporting system that was also released as open source. So we're looking at the OB player.
Woo!
If you want to play with this. And radio's not my jam, even though that's what I do for a living. But hey, man, if you want to play the home game, yes, maybe. Jill, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, one of the sad things here, and having been worked at several radio stations, and this is a truism, here in the US, we can't use open source software for emergency alert systems like you can in Canada and the rest of the world. But instead, we have to buy expensive proprietary boxes from US manufacturers that are certified by the Federal Communications Commission. And that's always the issue here in the US is the FCC. So some, we can use open source up to a certain point, but not for the whole chain of broadcasting, which is unfortunate.
But yeah, if you don't live in the US and you're already paying a broadcast license for some reason, and you're thinking, well, I'm not actually doing anything with it, Give me a sec.
Yeah.
Raspberry Pi. Done.
Yeah, that's great. There is open source software for, managing playlists and that kind of thing. So that's been available on Linux.
Setting that up.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's really great when somebody just creates something out of like a need and you give it away. Which
yes.
It's
it's all
amazing.
part of the community. And hey man, come on. I don't know what the kids these days want to do, but start your own 1 watt FM station with a Raspberry Pi. It's completely doable.
That like people in your building can complain that you're interfering with their radio station.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. To absolutely no one's surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, of course, we've been talking about this here on LWW. The top 500 supercomputers in the world run Linux. And but what's really wonderful is they have reached the average speed of 1.14 petaflops. That's amazing. Yes,
that's a lot of flops.
Linux makes the supercomputers run faster and faster every day, actually, new innovations. So in the top spot is the IBM built supercomputer, the Oak Ridge National Laboratory Summit System, which is amazing, which clocks in at 148.6 petaflops. And it uses the Power 9 CPUs and NVIDIA Tesla V100 GPUs. Yeah, that we've talked about before.
You can tell that IBM's were the one who built that particular computer because it's the only one running Power 9.
Yeah. Well, except for the second place, the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory's Sierra System supercomputer also uses the Power 9 CPUs.
Which was also built by IBM, yes.
Exactly. And clocks in at 94.6 petaflops. Yes. IBM's always, they've been the king of this for years, so since the very beginning.
The kind of looking at it, it's always interesting when your desktop operating system can moonlight at exascale proportions. But that's okay. Don't worry, Linux is stupid. Keep clicking on your next buttons. Windows desktop experts.
And, even in desktop land, this is a trend that is very much on display because if, say, you don't pay attention to the petaflops and instead you go look at, like, the Geekbench result browser, if you sort, like, by the same CPU and GPU and you just sort by the highest scores, it's always a Linux score at the top. You can see like the overclocked Windows scores inching very close to it or sometimes even going above it, but it's usually Linux at the top. Yeah.
Well, if you're going to benchmark something, it's probably a good idea to use Linux because you could actually control the variables.
Everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I see benchmarks done, I understand why you'd have to do it for Windows. Like we're trying to do it for gaming benchmarks. Like, but talk about RNG simulator on Windows. Like you don't know what's running in the back. Well, I can open this up and
yeah. But yeah, on this list, the one that surprised me was number 5. It's a Dell.
Yes. That was cool.
What surprised me were the Xeon Platinums. I'm like, that's where they went. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ridiculous pricing, but not every Linux PC has to be a supercomputer.
No, it does not. In fact, Linux is that variable. No, not variable. Malleable. Some
Flexible.
word that ends in able. Flexible, yes, very good. This one is the popcorn computer. It is, if you've ever seen a Nintendo 2DS, that was the first thing that jumped to my mind. It's like, oh yeah, no, that is a Nintendo 2DS with like, it's, if you took one of the old Blackberries and you stretched it out a little bit to have a full-on, like, full HD screen, you'd get a popcorn computer. And right now, the Pocket PC, as they're selling it, is, well, it's up for consideration. You can put your email address in the little Notify Me tab, and they say that by the time it comes out, it'll be around 200 local wet, stinky currencies. Which, look, it's a toy. Let's be honest. They have a long-range communication thing, the LoRa, as they call it.
Should have called it the
Which-
Lorca.
Yeah, Lord.
Star Trek. But it's 200 wet sticky caches for a toy. Yeah, at that point, I would rather pay for the Pinebook Pro.
I would have to see something that was not a 3D render. I think that's
Yes.
very much in the
Yeah.
like. Okay, maybe I'll play around with that, like a 4-inch screen. Now, spec wise, yes, I was just getting my first good look at it when we were scrolling through the notes, and it's like that's only slightly slower than my router.
Yeah, they compare
Yeah.
it to the Nexus 5, and that's not really a comparison you want to be making in 2019.
But I think the sell on this is the being able, open communications and a nice like TSA acceptance factor on the packaging.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no, if it does look this good when it's an actual device and not just a render, that will be
Yes.
very neat. It'll look like a toy, but it'll be very neat.
well,
Yeah.
there'd be some. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, well, my only hesitation is the silicon-based keyboard, which I wish they weren't using silicon for the keyboard. Never been a fan of these ever since the rubbery keys of the ZX Spectrum. I'm hoping they're a little harder. you know.
Yeah.
All right, seriously, what do you want? MX Reds? You want click, 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 click?
No, but just
Chiclet keyboard?
ABS
The
or
Apple
classic
butterfly
plastic.
keyboard.
Yeah. Because that rubbery effect I've never cared for on keyboards. But yeah, like as Pedro and Ben were saying, if this design holds out, it's really beautiful, and the glowing key, the backlit keyboard looks really nice too.
See, there's your. There's a husband, Jill. There's like, do you want your glowy keyboard, or
Yes.
do you want a good keyboard? Pick one.
I want both.
Yeah,
I
they're
want a
going to have
clicky
to find a way.
keyboard.
Yeah, clicky keyboard that glows on that teeny tiny little 5-inch across. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And
But it
then
looks
again,
beautiful.
if they can deliver that at $199, that is,
Yeah.
granted, it's at the very edge of like, yeah, might just pick one up to play with, but it's still within the realm,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's sub
Yeah.
$200 is like, yeah, I might buy that to play. It's not like, well, I'm not, something like the Pirate 2, which is going to be like $400 or $500. You're like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
nah, I'm good. More power to it, but yeah, if they can get that out, it's something to keep an eye on. Speaking of things I had to keep an eye on, this showed up in the show notes, and I'm
Yeah.
like, why is this in the show notes? 404, page not found. It's a canonical. So I had to investigate, to which I went to the Google cache, and it's like, oh, a technical compare. Who put this in the show notes? It wasn't me.
It might have been me.
Might have been you. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I did.
This was a post
Yeah,
about a
probably me.
technical comparison between the Snap and the Flatpak formats. And it's like, oh, well, I kind of want to read that. And, I read over it. And I'm like, yeah, that seems fine. I don't see
Yep.
the...
And I put it in the show notes because it was like, okay, so they actually say we have 100 and something snaps, and Flatpaks currently only has like 40 or 30 something. So yeah, Flatpaks are a little bit lacking in that respect. But the first thing that I saw when I saw this is like, oh, Canonical is tooting their own horn again. Okay, let's go through it. It's like, all right, that's not bad. That's why it ended up in the show notes. So, yeah. And then the article got pulled. So I'm
Yes.
thinking someone pointed out to Canonical that they were tooting their own horn and they didn't like it.
Why do you have a problem with that? Like, this is what I don't understand. They're like, hey, man, we made a technology that is pretty good. Pedro, you're the problem with the internet, Pedro. It's like, you're tooting your own horn. Like, but it's a really cool thing we made.
I am.
No, quit tooting your own horn.
If anything, I am the representation of the typical internet person who
Listen,
often
okay.
doesn't know what they're talking about. but
First off,
yeah.
Pedro, you're the only one here. Well, no, both of you are running Ubuntu, so never mind.
Aw. Well,
so were you for the longest time.
Oh, I'd still have it on a box back here. Just
Yes.
is running 1804.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I think it was actually a really good article, and initially I couldn't read it because of the 404 issue, but yesterday I was able to take a look at it with the other links, and it's true. Snaps are more flexible and can be installed on many more architectures than Flatpaks, including PowerPC 64, IBM mainframe, S390X, and older i386, and in doing so, Snap supports server-side and in the Internet of Things, so it is more flexible than Flatpaks. But Flatpaks are nice because they use URLs and servers to get all their packages. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
And and honestly, my favorite containerized format is still app image. I still love the app images better.
App images work, but we're looking for like deploying something, especially like
this works on everything.
across, racks and racks and racks of stuff. This makes sense. Snap's got a lot of negative funk on it from everyone because it's like, let's just be honest, it's from Canonical. You're like, yeah, that thing. They
didn't help, to be fair.
But there's nothing like wrong with it. Yes, there's legitimate arguments to be made of like, well, it's got a proprietary backend. True, but if you're using it, in your company to deploy something, probably not going, well, that's not open source enough for me.
Yeah, now you're, so does that support license we're paying actually pay for fixing that? Okay, then go fix that.
Yeah. Go do things.
Yeah. Yeah, and here are the numbers. It's like 679 applications in the Flatpaks and 2,632 excluding duplicates and test snaps. So, yeah, that's a significant difference, I think. I personally like Flatpaks. I would very much like to use Flatpaks whenever I see something is like, oh, I can build that from source, or let's go see if there's a Flatpak.
Yes.
There's always a Flatpak. I mean, you have Canonical. They're doing good work with developing Snap, and, Red Hat and IBM, they're doing the Flatpaks. And, at the end of the day, Red Hat, IBM has better people. But, oh no, we have two choices. How about a third? Give me a fourth choice. I'm not.
Steam.
Yeah.
The Steam.
There you go. You can
containers. The namespaces.
In the future, everything is built. You say that as a joke, old man Ben, but you're like, can we get Kemp on Steam? I could, keep my stuff updated and portable. That'd be kind of fun. That's neat. Good work, Canonical. Put it back up. Let people read
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good article.
We said nice things, but we also said some things that weren't exactly nice because that's reality. And I know everyone's like, no, all or nothing, but that's not how the world works. Preserving open source software for future generations.
Yeah. So I was excited about this article, this what's going on here. So, wow. So, okay, when we talked about the post-apocalyptic Linux distribution, Collapse OS, 2 weeks ago. I talked about the Long Now Foundation and the 10,000 year clock as a good example of creating technology that is preserved for the future. And now I must have had a good prediction, because now GitHub has created the GitHub Archive program, which is formed to preserve open source software for future generations, and is teaming up with the Long Now Foundation, the Internet Archive, the Software Heritage Foundation, Arctic World Archive, etc., etc. And one of the reasons is, bit rot on hard drives, SSDs, and CDs, and all our storage mediums only last for a few decades, sadly. So the GitHub Archive program will store multiple copies of the software on various storage mediums across different locations and data formats. And so one of the cool things is if you get your code into the GitHub Arctic Code Vault by February 2nd, 2020, it's
they were
it's
going
gonna
for the palindrome. Clever.
yes, it's gonna become a very long-term archive designed to last at least 1,000 years. So for all those who have projects on GitHub, it's gonna be saved for
So we're going to
at
save
least
this in the
1,000
Arctic.
years.
All right. So are they going before they store the code? Are they going to teach it how to swim and give it little floaties?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or they're going to finally find that landmass underneath Antarctica, and that's where they're going to bury it.
Yeah, when the Atlantis lands back, after the Zeep. Yeah, okay.
But you know, I saw like Jill sort of buried the lead there because in her show notes it's like Microsoft research. It's like, I hope that Microsoft's involvement is mostly monetary, because when it comes to keeping data, Microsoft isn't very good at that. Just look at the 1903 update and how they were so very happy to delete people's entire home folder. Just
no, man.
Very true.
You're going to get to the vault, do the handprint, the retinal scan, Clippy's going to pop up, and you're like, nope. And it's never going to be touched again.
I see you're trying to get into the vault.
Right.
Well, I thought of another positive. Is if by February of next year, Microsoft Windows isn't open sourced, it's not going to be archived. And
they own GitHub. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah. Nothing of value.
No, I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're about to get into a slice of pie, but first we want to thank all the beautiful people who are making this show possible, because you are awesome. You melt our face off each and every week by supporting our nonsense through Patreon, LibrePay, buying our merch. We got the PayPals, we got wish lists for the studio, Jordan, Pedro, Jill. We even take magic internet money, keeping us loud, live, independent, and commercial free. And we get to come hang out with you. If you want to join us, we'd like you to become a Patreon. Then you get access to an extra hour of our content each and every week. You get to hop in our Discord, and you get to see pictures of Jill posting with randos that she met on the internet.
Literally.
And
our chat room.
You can hop in with our pre super shit. We got a gang. We try to entice you to become a Patreon with a bunch of little bonus sodas, but that's awesome. If not, could you share our show? That'd be brilliant. Be our marketing department. It is a little bit terrifying spreading that distortion, but Jill, we got two brand new shiny Patreons to thank this week.
We have James.
I even remembered to put your name in the credits.
Yay! So thank you, James, and also to Ruben. I think this is a Ruben I may know, but this is awesome.
I don't know. Did you try to eat it? Were you like,
no? Yes. No, I don't like Reuben sandwiches. If you're asking me.
I don't know, man. What's a Reuben sandwiches is like a pizza that's gone horribly wrong, isn't it?
I don't even know. I know I just don't like it.
Is it one of those that barely qualifies as a sandwich?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Jill's got an issue if the food touches.
Yeah, I do, kind of.
I don't know how she drinks milkshakes. All right. So, let's get into a slice of pie. Only one this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it certainly brought all the boys to the yard.
That's a stretch.
Music reference, come on.
That was, So this is the Raspberry Pi Video Box. It's a great way to repurpose old Pis and thumb drives as a super simple to use media box. And the creator of this project set this up to endlessly play videos off thumb drives, especially older shows like Seinfeld, and just to kind of play them, in random order, like I would, Star Trek.
I like this universe that I'm stuck in where everyone has one of those transparent USB cables somewhere.
Yes.
Just go look. You'll have one.
They were everywhere. Yeah. Those were everywhere in the 90s and early 2000s. And the glowing ones too. But anyways, it's a really simple to use series of scripts that you load when Raspbian boots. and it will find the flash drive and play the MP4s, or was MP4s and
AVIs.
AVIs. So each flash drive, the author set up to be a different topic for each flash drive, so you can stick it in and play the videos randomly on there. And
Yep.
I would definitely use this to play Star Trek and
Torture
some of my
people,
favorite
like,
movies.
play Star Trek.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, play Star Trek out of order. See what happens. But yeah, one of the things that I like about this project is that he actually put up his teeny tiny little script. Very small, very condensed, very easy to understand. And you can point, say, instead of media username, like MediaPi in this case, you could say point it at an NFS mount or an FTP mount, or you could literally make it play, just use a different player and make it play music instead. Yes.
This is kind of like a unplugged old school version of what I'd like to call Netflix, because let's face it, man, I mean, you could just put like Stargate SG-1 on loop and I'm like, that's the same difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Doctor Who or something like that. Right
and you
on.
can just remove the shuff bit,
Yeah.
so it doesn't shuffle, and it actually plays them in whatever order they happen to be. It uses iName, so yeah, case insensitive name file names.
See, now I'm just thinking about the most infuriating things I could come up with to force someone. I mean, share with someone out of order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if you have any
Star
of
Trek's
those,
a good one.
Yeah, Star Trek.
Yes.
I can bounce back and forwards with that. Want to tell us you got something that you want to share with us out of order, in order, side order? Hey, man. How can they do that, Pedro?
You can even do upside down text if you feel like copy pasting everything. You could go to linuxgamecast.com, hit the contact button, and filling out the form. Make sure the show that you send to is, of course, LWDW. You can also send some hate mail for that foul-mouthed Saturday show, What We Do. But yeah, we're all out of order. Let's be honest. After 197 episodes of this, we're all a little bit gone.
Speak for yourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, up first this week comes from Ed. And Ed's like, yo, man, tell me about this HDMI capture stuff, because I'm looking for a low latency HDMI capture card that can handle HDCP, which is like, I'd like to strip copy protection off of it. Which can be legitimate with like PS4s and stuff like that. Just like stream with them. So he's like, I saw the Chinese Extreme Cap U3 copycat, but I was worried it would not be as good as it could, especially in latency. As much as I would like to try Blackmagic products, my wallet tells me that it won't happen in 2019. Maybe?
Yeah.
To which I'll retort, yeah, go ahead, Pedro, since you didn't put anything in there.
Well, I can add to what you're going to say that there are some 20-something pound, $25-ish devices available on eBay that will let you work around the whole HDCP deal.
See, let me save you a lot of time. Basically, any HDMI splitter that's been made in the last decade is going to automatically strip that off, even though even if they don't say they do, they will. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, don't buy a special one like Pedro just told you to do. B, the best solution that I found on the cheap is totally not plugging anything, but if you go to linuxgamecast.com, look for like HDMI capture. There's the U3. It's like $60 American in Freedom Bucks. That's as good as you're going to get for that price. It's USB 3. It'll do 1080 60 over USB 3, and whatever you can do with that. If you're looking for something that just works, I mean, because that's what we started. I still have a singular one hooked up, and I have one hooked up to each of these boxes over here for return video, because they work. But if you're looking for something that just works and you need more than one of them, Blackmagic, that'll do it. Get on eBay.
Yeah.
Get patient. You can find the like Intensity Pro 4K or the DeckLink Mini 4K. They'll do 1080p 60. They'll even do 2160 by 3840 by 2160. 30, just not 60. You can get those for about $150 used. If you hate money and you can afford them, I put it in Discord like 2 days ago. There was a Magewell. There was a dual 1080p. They'll do like 2 1080p streams for at 120, going for like 200. That's what it ended up selling for. Those things start at $500 for 1080p for Magewell, but they're designed to run 24/7. They're broadcast cards.
Yeah.
So, but they also work with video for lytics. So if you need something that can double as a webcam or take that type of input, you can't do that with a Blackmagic card. Like, that's why I'm using the USB capture cards on this, because like Chrome can't see a Blackmagic device. It doesn't matter if it's on Windows or Mac or anything like that. So keep that in mind. Anybody have anything to add to the class?
Nope.
That's what I thought. All right.
Oh, you're such a hard ass, man.
That's one of the nicer things that have been said about me.
Okay, this
well,
comes
let's
to
talk
us...
about hardwood then.
All right,
Yeah.
Jill, tell me about it.
Okay, this comes from Dawn. There's also socks with the rubber or silicone nubs for grip on slippery surfaces like non-carpeted floor. On the upside, it's fun watching pets slide around on the floor when they chase their toys around the room.
Now, this all comes from, I think we were talking in the pre-show, after show, where, you know, anytime I wax floor clean up, I just have my socks on, and I'll have that brief English, old man, like 5 to 10 minute period of just having, because my entire house is hardwood, which is awesome, because I'm mentally sometimes like 6 and I go sliding around until I almost wreck myself. And then I'm like, put on some more engage traction control, because you slide just a little bit, then you get brave, and then you're like, wee, doom. Going down like 2 flights of stairs, not recommended. Yes, they do make traction socks.
Yes, I have several too.
Losers wear them.
No, they work well.
You have traction socks and carpet, so you've already confused me to the point where there's no, it's like, well, I really want to stick to the carpet. Well,
but I have a kitchen that's
what
slippery.
Are you oh, I thought you were going to say you wear them in the shower.
No, and the kitchens and the bathrooms.
You know, ironically, I use slippers to prevent myself from slipping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like socks.
I wear socks, man. I have traction slippers. I mean, it all boils down to like responsibility.
Yeah.
And I have too much takeoff area to not be more stuck to the floor.
Yes.
But that is definitely
you can get a good run up.
I can get dude. I can rollerblade in my basement. I know that for a fact. I've done it.
Cool.
So, okay. Children often ask, are our pies learning?
Well, they may be, because, last week we had that bit about machine learning on the Pi, and I made it off, like an off remark. It's like, yeah, there are so many more powerful computers out there that you could be doing this on.
Like an NVIDIA Jetson.
Yes. Like Fabio here says, it's like machine learning on a Raspberry Pi is actually not only doable, but also hugely untapped world. Classifiers can obviously be trained on more powerful machines, but once the model file is there, it's cheap to copy it to a Raspberry Pi and do predictions. Using OpenCV to do predictions through a relatively simple Keras model actually does its job within 100 milliseconds on a Raspberry Pi 4. And it was like, oh yeah, after you have the file, you could just feed it to something and it'll run the predictions. It's like, yes, I forgot about that. Thank you. Yeah.
I know. I've used TensorFlow on the Raspberry Pi. In fact, that's how I learned how to use TensorFlow AI. So it was the Raspberry Pi.
But yeah, you create the model on a massive workstation or send it out to a server, and then when it spits out the file, you just feed it to something and let it chew on it. Yeah.
Yes, predictive learning. I mean AI. That's kind of brilliant.
Machine learning.
Yeah, well, listen, man. It sells better, all right? I can get more money from a startup, and I feel better about myself if I'm working on AI research. Right? So, beautiful people, we got to bounce out of here. So, prepare yourself for a little bit of wubby music and some credits.
Yay.
There it goes.
Yay. Yay, Ben. Yay, Pedro.
Yay, Jill. You can say it. It's fine. It's okay.
Yay, executive producers. And producers. All our beautiful producers and executive producers. We love you. Thank you so much for all your support.
Every single one of you made this show possible, and we've been doing it for 197 episodes, so thank you all very, very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you are our family.
You did this to yourselves.
Yeah. Yay. Woo. We love you.
At the end of the day, it's really all Brad's fault.
It was always Brad.
Always Brad.
There's the
Art
whoop.
Theron. Whoop whoop. Fam.
All right.
Cool.
Get with it, Brad. I like how Atomic's like, I'm going to set up a Lord Discord. I'm like, what is your aversion to doing a wiki?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he has it on GitHub. So yeah, he could do something. But Discord is a nice.
I have a horrible idea. That would have been my first pick if you're like, what's the worst possible way to maintain it? Ooh, I know one, a proprietary chat system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Vin, so after about 10 minutes, my return video was beautiful. The rest of the show. So, yay.
So let's not waste another second at any point.
Okay.
Because you can't deal with pixels, okay?
No, okay.
LGC cares.
Currently on sale. Oh, Outward. Yeah. I believe it's on my wish list. Probably.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. That's a game I've been wanting to play.
Oh, yeah. It's this one. It's a Proton game, though, so it'll have to go on more than 50% sale.
Oh, I finished Tomb Raider.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
cool,
I still
then.
need to finish Rise of the Tomb Raider. I need time. That's what I need. Time.
Also, Chibsy, yeah, man. We struck a nerve talking about Reuben sandwiches with Chibs, man.
Yeah.
You all talking about my sandwiches?
Yeah, that was like, whoa. We need to address what the Reuben is, people. I mean, you just can't gloss over that.
I know Steven likes them, but he says it's hard to find a good one. So, but I had it once and didn't like it, and I don't even remember what it tasted. You know, I just remember I didn't like it.
They're delicious if you can catch them. We might be talking about different things. Am I disappointed with the ending of the Shadow? It was effectively a reskin of the last boss. I mean, it's part 3 of the same game, man.
Oh, okay. We're still doing that boss. All right.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I was like, I remember this boss, but now he has almost clothing, and he's a little more fiery, but all right, fair enough.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's why it has Russian dressing, sauerkraut, and pastrami. 3 things I don't like.
Russian dressing? That sounds an awful lot like ranch.
No, it's red. It's a different. It's actually kind of more like a creamy Italian, but it's got a bit more bitter taste to it.
It's mayonnaise with rhubarb.
Yeah.
It's got too much vegetable in it for Jill. It needs more refined sugar.
I don't know. Russian salad is actually pretty good, but then again, I just like mayo, so.
Invented a true story during the show. I do not like eating sandwiches because I don't like getting my hands dirty. Steve teases me all the time.
See,
I'd rather use a fork.
I'm just saying, dude, some things are not necessarily guesswork, okay?
Oh, thank you very much, Arthurian. I didn't have Steam running. I just saw the email pop up. Thank you. Seriously, thank you very much.
Oh, that was
Thank you,
sweet.
Pedro, for not having Steam running.
Yes.
It's little things like that make me happy.
Yeah.
Being completely serious.
That is a habit that I got into for the show. It's like, okay, let's kill Steam and everything else that doesn't need to be running. Just
Yeah.
there.
Yay, Arthur, and he's been so sweet. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Quadrilateral. Quadrilateral.
We're getting there.
Come on, one less syllable than that.
No, dude, we got to
Just
put our
one
money.
less syllable.
I'm saying 2 more. I'm saying 2 more. Let's see.
Quadrilateral cowboy. Try say that fast.
Quadrilateral.
Quadrilateral.
Cowboy. Yep. Yeah. I got 2 there.
Yeah.
Well, you know, to their credit, neither of them have ever claimed to be trained broadcasting professionals, so cut them some slack, people.
No. I may have claimed many things in my life. That was never one of them.
For me, 20 years ago. When we used to speak a lot better.
When we used to make words good, Jill?
No, when I wasn't as old as I am now.
So, a second ago?
Right. When all else fails, use age as an excuse. That'll get me out of it.
No.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
No. Dyslexia coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, no, co-worker Dave, he is very much dyslexic. He'll be, like, typing to someone on Skype, and I'll, like, look at his monitor and it's like, did you mean to type that?
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it.
What's your input level at right now, Pedro?
Let's see, on Pavu, it's 100%. On the...
No, on Audacity with a VU meter.
Let's see, Audacity. Oh, that's right, I didn't install Audacity. Let's do that right now.
Something tells me it's a little hot.
Possibly. Let's see. Install Audacity. Oh, discover. you've gotten better, but you're still slow.
Sudo apt install?
I just typed Alt F2 Audacity, and it said like download Audacity. It's like, all right, just click on that there.
I've already installed Audacity. Like 9 times.
Audacity. Okay, it didn't spawn on the UHD monitor. Start monitoring. Okay, so if I get really close to the microphone, right now I'm peaking at about -6.
And we're aiming for -12.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to be very excited and talk about things as I lower this little knob. And right now it's
I'm
peaking
going
at
to set
-9.
my volume at a voice that I normally don't talk at, because that's smart.
But that's the thing. It's only going above -9 if I get really excited. So
Yeah, it should be tapping -12.
yeah, it is now. Yeah, it is right now. If I'm just talking and saying things normally, it is at around -12. Like this, and it hits -9. So yeah, it's right around here. -12-ish, give or take. But yeah, no, thank you very much for that, Arthur, and I will be,
Yeah, so
as soon
sweet.
as I get some time, outward through the paces. Hopefully, I'll have everything done by tomorrow evening, and I'll have free time again. Seriously, screw Brexit.
No.
So much crap. It's like, oh yeah, you're European person. It should be okay. You should just need to apply and then get the pre-settled status.
No, dude. Life hack. You should be born with triple citizenship. Time machine.
Yeah. You move to the UK. You move to the UK too. All right.
Hey man, Rohit made it. Participation trophy. Come on.
Just, a little bit late.
Rohit.
No,
How are
Don
you,
left a
Rohit?
comment on YouTube. He's like, yo, thanks for listening like the live and uncut things. I like put them on the... It's like, exactly. That's what they're there for.
Yep.
You
That is specifically what they're there for.
cut them and just let them run in the back while you're doing other stuff. That's a participation... What? Man, they've changed.
Yeah. A brony?
Yeah, apparently Imgur edginess levels have come down. Very, very much looking forward to having, evenings that I don't need to be worrying about things. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
You'd think working for the NHS would have some advantages, but no, they don't care.
Yeah, you're working for their government.
Yes, I am a public servant of the UK government.
Yeah.
What have I been playing lately? I have been playing Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, okay.
Because I started a character and that game is huge. It's what if Skyrim but made in Japan. I did a stream of it before Proton had D9VK, and I basically told everyone this is how you get the performance to behave. But then D9VK came out like 2 weeks after that. It's like, oh, okay, so you don't need that little workaround anymore. You can just enable D9VK. There, done.
I had to go cut the heat on.
Okay.
Gotta play that game. The rest of the
Yeah.
house won't be ice. However, I don't melt
Yeah.
in here when I'm trying to do the show.
Do.
Yeah. I'm playing Tomb Raider. I finished it. It ended way too... No. I think it probably took me like 8 to 10 hours to beat it, and that is me playing it. Powering through. No side missions. No tombs. Just get to the end.
I've started playing the Mims that Patrick sent me, and I'm enjoying it. It's a cute little game. It plays really beautifully in 4K. It doesn't, take that much
Yeah,
processing
we
power.
threw chairs at that game a long time ago.
I
Yeah,
distinctly
it's an old
remember
one.
trying to figure out what the hell am I supposed to be doing.
Oh,
Yes. And it was also the fact that the developer got a bit attached to his game.
yeah.
Well, the developer also bugged us.
Yes.
He's like, are you sure you really want to take a look at this game? I'm like, I don't think you want to. He's like, come on. And to the point, he's like, fine. Okay.
All
Yeah, I
right.
remember. Yeah.
Damn it, Chibs. I read that as Aneurysm 3, and I was like, I'm going to do it. I don't even care what it is.
Was the Avernum series on the Sura? Because I think I remember having them on the Sura. Avernum.
Yeah, that- Vern. I know I have it. I don't know where at, though.
Pretty sure they were on the Sura, but I do not remember.
What were they?
They're like isometric RPG games,
Oh,
like
no, never mind. I don't have that.
Fallouts of old and the
Nah, I'm
Icewind Dales and Baldur's Gates. Yes.
I like Icewind Dale. Like that game.
When I hear Icewind Dale, my brain is like, pocket sand.
Yeah, the Great Trials trilogy that had the first 3 games, I think, it came out in 2012. I want to say.
Give me one of these
yeah,
for
it was
Christmas,
probably on the
Pedro.
Star. How much is that?
They haven't said yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Behringer wing.
Is that the one you posted on Discord yesterday or the day before? Yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shite. Look at it. It's like a 2442 mixer in the bottom there with a wing on top. It's like a spoiler. As I
It's
said,
one of those that if you need to ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah.
well, I'm curious at what price point they're going to come in on this because,
Yeah. If it's lower than like new tech,
well, it's not TriCaster, Jill.
yeah, no,
This
it
is for
isn't.
audio.
But yeah, but Behringer, I know, has talked about getting into the TriCaster area.
This doesn't have anything to do with video. But it will do. I think it's like 24 track. Well, I forget how many tracks total it'll do. Like 200 and something?
Wow.
Yeah, with a DAW.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine a universe. I'm just trying to think like Behringer doing something with a video. It's like, yeah, I don't know if I even trust that. Curious to see what it comes in at, though. Because you look at like the X32, it's about $1,300.
That's, yeah. Kind of the range what I was assuming. So that one's probably going to be, what, 5,000?
Yeah, if it, I think it'd be generous, but yeah. The only thing that like throws it supports like 3 different Ethernet protocols, so that's where you're really going to connect it for like a big thing.
Mm.
But they're like, it also has a USB connection. Yeah, good luck.
Well, if it does have USB, then on the Linuxes, it's going to be audio device. If you don't want to do the net jack.
Well, like wiring that in. Oh no, no, Chibs. That would just, to what I originally said to that. That's a lot to go wrong, at once. I'm quite happy with the X-Touch Compat.
All right, I'm going to have to go make dinner because I'm hungry and I'm pretty sure Nori's hungry too. So, bye everyone.
Bye, Pedro.
Bye, Pedro. Have a good dinner.
What are you doing, Joe? What are you looking at?
Arthur, Star Trek Franker Prize. Oh, I was looking at Steam games and what I played recently.
What'd you play recently?
I haven't. Well, I had The Mum's the beginning, and I played some Distance. Haven't been able to play a lot of games recently, though. I've been pretty busy. But I look forward to doing that a lot on my vacation.
Oh, I thought you were going to retirement home.
No, I haven't. Do.
I don't know why people keep saying that right there. I'm engineering, son.
Yes. He's our chief engineer. He keeps the engines purring.
I make a lot of stuff work for somebody who doesn't know what he's talking about.
Pedro would be on weapons, yeah. That's a good... Or Jordan. I think Jordan... I think Pedro would be a good navigator, and Jordan would be on weapons helms.
You can have fun with that. I'm going to make... Jordan's going to be the ship counselor. I'm going to make Pedro cook just to see how long people can go without eating. Right. So what do you got going on this afternoon?
Oh, I'm gonna do some exercise, get some lunch, possibly go to the store. I'll do that on my walkabout. Feed the kitties. Frank would be the Vulcan.
No, man. Frank's Q.
Yeah, that would work.
Pops in every now and then those mariachi band.
Yeah.
It works. Just don't think about it too much.
What would Sandy be?
Sandy could be the ship.
Yeah, there we go. He's an organic ship. It's an organic ship.
He's just yeah, he's the voice of the ship's AI.
There we go.
Either that or he's going to be a warp core. Or nacelle.
Yeah.
Be a warp nacelle. We'll just tie him to the back. I'll be down with it. Right.
Warp nacelle.
Yeah. So...
Empty would be Borg.
Nah.
He's too nice. Empty's too nice. Yeah,
There we go.
too nice for a Klingon or a Borg.
Wow, specious. Oh, apparently, man. Like, all Klingons are just big meanie heads, and Worf would be like, dude, come on.
Sandy would make a good Andorian.
This is Jill believes all Andorians are raging alcoholics, but okay.
Yeah.
Man, YouTube has been very serious about this CCPA thing. Thanks, California. The California Consumer Privacy Act.
Yeah.
Want to make sure that you're not advertising to kids. So, like, if you logged in on your Twitch Creator Studio, like, warning, you need to tell us, do you make kids videos? And it's like, absolutely. Which, no, we don't.
Yeah.
Because up until, like, yesterday or whatever, you could, like, I want to target male kids between the ages of 9 and 11, which you couldn't do on, like, the TV side.
Yeah.
Or any type of other and you couldn't broadcast or advertise directly to kids, like even on TV. You can advertise to their parents and stuff like that. But Google was like, yo, hey, we don't have those restrictions. So now they have those restrictions.
Now they, yeah.
Like, now they're leveling the playing field. And everyone's flipping out. But in good time-honored tradition, Google's is like ripping all the feature sets away from everyone just to be safe. And I'm sure they'll slowly add it back. Doesn't really affect us, but yeah. That's a scary time to rely on YouTube for income.
Yeah. I've noticed a lot of the YouTubers that I listen to are now switching over to Twitch because they're just sick of it. So,
Well, I mean, if you want to go from your Amazon corporate overlord or your Google one,
Google, yeah.
that's, dude, I don't know, man. It's just like it's a terrible. What I genuinely don't like about the situation is what you're seeing is people creating content to make YouTube happy, or to,
Yeah.
as opposed to the content that they want.
The creators.
make, right?
Yeah.
Or people would watch. Like, I saw a thing, I think it was like Gamers Nexus, they were talking about, oh man, or it might have been Paul's Hardware. They were talking about how the videos interact, like if you have a live stream, like if you're doing a live thing, and you don't get a lot of views on the live stream because, hey, man, most people watch it after the fact. That's reality. That it affects your YouTube rating when you post a finished video.
Yeah.
If your previous video had a lower view count, and they were seriously like, oh, we might have to stop doing live streams. And it's like, man, this is why you see us, like, we're super thankful that, you know, you can kick us some shekels on Patreon and stuff like that, so we don't have to be like, hey, man, we're doing this video. And
Yeah.
so we have to dance like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, EU's been all over it, man. You know, California, they're doing the right thing. You know, you don't want to, but, you know, I don't even want to put this. I don't have kids. But I was a kid once, technically. I was never left to be babysit by a TV or a computer.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like there was some parenting involved there. So
Yeah.
it's like, how much responsibility lies
Exactly.
on, you know?
Yeah. We just don't have the kids today don't have the freedom, and it's really sad. And here in California, they're being so just, yeah, so strict.
Well, it's like,
I mean, even all the schools are, campuses are closed, like for high schoolers, and it was all open when I was younger. We were able to walk out of campus and go eat lunch somewhere and come back. Can't do that anymore. Sad.
I don't think it's responsibility. Like with this, this is like the sticky situation. Like, I don't think it's a company's responsibility to keep track of what your kids can and cannot watch.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, it's
like
up to the parent or guardian.
Our generation, I could almost make the argument, even though I couldn't make that argument. My mom knew more about computers than I did. She was the one who got me into it. But an older generation, like walking in, pre-internet. But think if I was a parent today, right now, there would be no excuse for me not to know how the technology works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I sure as hell wouldn't trust a company to do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My prison fences, I don't know, man. I was set out as a young child in the streets of London with "go get lost" were the exact words. You know how to use a phone. I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's about not having anyone home to monitor kids. Is both, but yeah. See, I don't want to piss anybody. It's like maybe that's something you should have read over, like the financials before having the kid. But yeah, we were allowed to run out and, you go do stuff. Just go out. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't have kids, man. So I don't know. I genuinely don't. I can't speak to it. What do you think, Jill? You're a child.
I'm not a child, but I do have nephews, and my brother is an excellent father. He's kept track of it and just lets his children have the freedom they want as long as they don't abuse it and do bad things, but they're good kids, so it's never been a problem.
You do bad things, you just don't get caught. See,
yeah. Yeah.
You learn valuable life lessons growing up, hiding stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, I spent a good portion of my life in Mexico, and it's our house down there is a beach house.
After we got the warrants cleared up,
cliffs.
we were finally able to get you back in the States without being arrested.
But we used to slide down the ice plant on cliffs, and do stuff like that, which parents today wouldn't even allow it. But our parents knew that we were careful and would be careful doing it and let us do it. But it would be considered very dangerous today by many people's standards. But my dad, had us into everything. We were into everything. And we traveled a lot, and I never had curfews or anything like that. So, because I never did anything bad enough to need a curfew.
Oh, I had curfews because there was definitely a time before I could realize what would be a good time to be in.
Yeah, yeah. So I didn't have a curfew in high school, because I never broke the rules. But I had done some things that weren't so good, but I just didn't get caught. So, like you said.
Just totally ate 2 cupcakes.
Yeah. I mean, to give you an idea, most of my friends in high school were 20 and 30 years olds at Star Trek conventions.
To give you an idea, in high school, there's stuff I can't talk about because of statute of limitations.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to jail.
Oh, I never touched that. I was a straight A student, honor student, the whole 9 yards. So they knew they could trust me.
Like I said, life skills. But this is why I'm 100% lock your Wi-Fi network down, put parental controls in place, because you're gonna build better hackers.
Oh, Theron, I never hurt anyone.
You're dealing with some hardcore punks right
No,
here.
the worst thing I probably did is Well, I used to occasionally would sneak out of the house without my parents knowing, and
I
go
heard like
visit.
one time you smoked a cigarette.
No, because I hated. My parents both chain smoked, and I almost died from it. So, yeah, no, smoking was not a
'Cause you were
thing.
supposed to smoke them, not eat them. Come on, Strider.
No,
we're
I
we're
was
trying
a
to be
best
edgy
little
on
girl.
the internet.
No. I was a good girl.
Oh man. Okay, it's almost 5. I've put it
Yeah.
off as long as I can. I gotta go do show
Okay.
notes and make a show.
Okay.
So, everyone, have a fantastic afternoon, and Jordan will
Yeah.
return tomorrow night with something. It will be terrifying. I have no idea. I might play some Death Road to Kanukistan on Friday.
Ah.
We'll see if the Steam Remote Play works. Feel free to volunteer in my direction before that time if you would like to participate. All right, everyone.
Bye.